Alright, this is couch therapy. I'll be sharing some things out of my book, Crown Butterfly. I'm actually going to share several chapters. I don't have any notes. I'm flowing off the Holy Spirit. This live is going to be more so ministry, but I'm going to be testifying through my writing. So I wrote this book in, let me see. I wrote this book in 2019. I ran for writing this book because I really wasn't ready to talk about the stuff that I was going through in my marriage during the time that I was married. This book is 8 chapters long. It got 8 chapters in it. As you can see, it's really, really thick. I believe my third life story is going to be thicker than this. But I'm going to read the back, and then I'm going to start off with page 56 and just flow how God wants me to flow. A lot of you all are flying on a broken wing, or the wing ain't flying. Something going on with the wing, but God's going to repair it. He's going to restore you. He's going to replenish everything that you have lost concerning anything that you have dealt with in your life. So this is what the back says. It said, this book is the second part of my story. My first book, A Broken That's Unspoken. It tells how I was lost and bound, but longing to be free of all the addictions that had my life spiraling out of control. The sequel, which is Crown Butterfly, explains the time will come when you think the devil has retired from messing with you. Don't fall for it. Anything he could do to disrupt your walk with God, he will. Like the Bible says, the devil is only out to kill, steal, and destroy, seeking whom he can devour. The more I walk with God, the more the devil attacked me. He almost took me out until God put his fence around my life, and I haven't been the same since. So I'm going to share page 56, and then I'm going to flow the way that God wants me to flow. Like I said, I'm going to be ministering. I ain't got no notes. I'm flowing straight off the Holy Spirit and just teaching a few chapters. I think this chapter, let me see what chapter this is. This chapter 3 called Milestones. And so a lot of you all are probably going through different milestones in your life, or you're accompanying different milestones and you don't know where you need to go. So hopefully my writings and the chapters that I share help you see where you are. So this is what page 56 is. It's gonna flow into 57. It says, how am I going to do this? My personal life is a mess. The issue of life are depressing me. These books are causing me more stress and much pressure. I didn't put too much thought into it because I started feeling drained. So this was during the time I was working at a daycare. My supervisor gave me the ins and outs of what to do and what's to come on how to work with infants. This is where God is about to break me. I can't stand to hear a baby cry. It does something to my mental. Not only is this a test, but it's also an assignment. He couldn't have picked a better person for me, of course. I waited out saying, I'm about to quit right now on the same day. There's no way I can do this. God spoke right in the middle of me talking. No, it's not time to stop. It's time to start. You have work to do. This job is your assignment. Yes, it's temporary. We have a deadline. Now I'm going to stop right there before I get into the other part. During this time, I was working at a daycare, and I literally had 3 jobs in one. I was a key holder, I was a secretary, And I was working in I was doing the infant room and I was doing the 2-year-old room. So when they added the 2-year, when they added the infant room, that's when I was about to quit, because I'm like, how in the world I'm gonna do all of this? This is too much. I thought I couldn't do it, but I did do it. So what God was doing during that time of my milestone was growing me for where I am now. I operate out of a lot of things at one time. So not only was I opening the daycare, sometimes I was closing it, I was answering the phone, I was a secretary, everything. I was just all over the place. But when God spoke to me, he said, no, it's not time to start, it's time to start. So I'm telling you, no, it's not time to stop. It's time to get active. It's time to apply pressure. It's time to get started. Whatever God has given you, whatever God has told you to do, you got to go back and finish whatever it is that he's giving you. Some of you all are going to be promoted during your milestones on your jobs. And you're going to be like, I can't handle the weight of all this stuff. I can't do all this stuff. But that's where you are wrong, because you're getting tested at that moment. Now, any job that I have ever worked was always an assignment. And when you're on those jobs, God's going to have you to minister in whichever way that he's going to use you. Simply because you are there on an assignment. I knew that the daycare job was temporary because of how God was using me. So some of you all have a deadline, and it might not be with your 9 to 5 and telling you to quit. But you have a deadline to build while you're on that 9 to 5. What does that mean? If God is telling you, oh, I need you to publish the book, you got to use the 9 to 5 money to publish and fund what you got. If he told you, well, I need you to build 5 businesses, I'm just throwing it out there. You got to use the money, the 9 to 5 that you're working to fund the business. That's what I did. I used the money that I was working to fund my business, and I regained the money back by using my business. That is, you're generating money. You're generating wealth. You're putting the money in from the job, but you're gaining more because of your skills, because of your gift. And so people have degrees, master's degrees, PhDs, and they still working in restaurants. That shouldn't be so. Why you ain't trying to open your own restaurant if this is something that you love to do? Why you ain't trying to open your own food chain? Or they got master's degrees and they're working under somebody at a clinic. Open your own personal clinical. That type of stuff. You got all of these degrees, you got all of these credentials, and you're doing nothing with it. So you're helping somebody else dream while yours is put down. The devil is a lie. When you are going through these milestones, you have to help yourself get to the level of where you're supposed to be going. Not stay on those 9 to 5s. Those 9 to 5s are stepping stones to get you to where you're going. When I was writing books, my jobs paid for the publishing and all of that. Once God took me off the job and said, you can't work, you got to stay at home, my books paid my bills. So you use their money to generate more money. Y'all ain't ready. So your job can be an assignment. Those are wealth transfers. So oftentimes when you are working a job and you're saying, man, I don't have enough time to write, I don't have enough time, you got to make time. How bad do you want it? We still talking about crowning as a butterfly. How bad do you want it? You work all the hours at them other people's job, then you go home and slack on your vision, on what it is that you're supposed to be doing. And you got to make time. Or you got to make sacrifices. Blood, sweat, and tears to get the things that you need done. All right, I'm moving along because I got to turn some more pages. All right. I said, I'm interceding in prayer back with the Lord. I said, well, God, you didn't tell me all of this would come with this. He said, no, because if I had told you, you would have aborted what I'm trying to birth through you. Hey, Andrew, thank you for joining me. Now, I'm going to stop right there. One thing about God, what he gonna do, he gonna show you if you dream anything, if you get a prophetic word, whatever, he's going to show you all the glitz and glams of what it is that you did, what you did in the dream. You're gonna see the finishing touches. You're gonna see yourself cutting the ribbon. You're gonna see yourself getting married. You're gonna see yourself doing all this good stuff. But he don't tell you the warfare and stuff that you have to go through to get to that point. So when you're getting that prophetic word, or you're dreaming it yourself, or somebody had a dream about whatever it is that you're supposed to be doing, you're gonna go through hell. You're gonna go through hell to get to where you're supposed to be. It's not going to be easy. So God only shows us snapshots of what it is that he wants you to see. That's to excite you, to get you pumped up and say, okay, I saw myself crossing that stage. I got to get busy and get back in school, because you saw it. But he didn't tell you the warfare that you was going to go through to get across the stage. So I went about my work day, and it was time to rotate positions and switching roles. I was grateful for the opportunity, but I wasn't ready for the wait. I was grateful for the opportunity, but I wasn't ready for the wait. Now, oftentimes people see more in you than you do yourself. I just don't think I can do all of it. I'm just being honest. As ambitious as I am, I just didn't think I could do all that, but I did it. So sometimes when opportunities is presented to you, sometimes we just we ain't ready for the wait, or we can't handle the wait. So when you're being strong in a place of being weak, this is where the milestones come in. Where God shift your whole entire life, and you begin to accompany something that you never tapped in before. So I had 6 babies to look after. The first thing my eyes observed was how dusty and unorganized the room was. So I had to clean, because I couldn't operate in that environment. So being who I am, I reorganized the whole room by myself, and I had fun doing it. I had to be comfortable and relaxed. After doing that and the babies was napping, I prayed and played my gospel music to set the atmosphere according to what I felt in my spirit I was led to do. When God places you somewhere, stick it out. The very place he put us, we try our best to run from it, not knowing that God is preparing us to be blessed even in our tests. So when God puts you somewhere, you got to stick it out. When he say your time is up, you got to go. That means that you can't override your time. You can't say, well, I'm going to stay longer. No, when God say go, go. He said get up and uproot yourself. You have to leave, because he know what is coming next. And he can be protecting you for whatever it is that you are doing. So when he's testing you in whatever environment that you are in, you got to stay put and stick it out, because that is a part of God preparing you for greater. A lot of you all doesn't see greater in your milestones. So for that, you're giving up, and you're saying, I'm tired of building. I'm tired of crying about this same thing. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of that. And, I don't understand what's going on. And so, God's getting ready to shift your whole milestone. God had me teaching in different ways. I have never in my life taught my books. Now, I have. When I used to do Let's Talk books, I will read just a snippet or something in the book to tease you and to show you how many books I got and just tell my testimony. But I have never taught out of my chapter. So God do a lot of amazing stuff. God is wild. So for you and to you, Don't give up in your milestone. I'm not telling you to quit your 9 to 5. I'm telling you to build while you're on your 9 to 5. Now God gonna make some of you all get off your jobs because you got too much in you. He's not going to let you settle. He's not going to let you just, be on it. Any job that I have ever worked, it doesn't matter. Well, if it was a restaurant, clothing store, whatever. I done worked a lot of places, a lot, grocery store, whatever. People will always come to me and they will say, well, are you the manager or are you the head because of the way that I operate? I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm just a sales associate. I'm just, the cashier and all of that. But I have held 4 manager positions. I have been in management for quite some time. I have held 4 manager positions. But when people see your work ethic, they will say, well, why you're not a shift lead, and why you're not a manager, and not, well, that ain't why God don't have me there for, he doesn't have me at that place for that. Well, they should promote you and all of that because you're doing a good job and all that. So you know how people are when they watch you and all that. The point that I'm making is, whatever you show that person or that people on that job, they're going to think highly of you and probably even speak on your behalf because of your work ethic. I'm naturally a boss. I own everything that I work out of. So it is my desire to own my own store and all that stuff. And it will happen. So that's my desire, to build my own store from the ground up. So, you got to think big. You can't, even in your milestone, you gon' fall into a place of depression. And the reason why you're going to fall into a place of depression because God is stretching you. And you're thinking, well, I can't do this. I don't have the money. I didn't have no money either when I started. 0 clients, 0 money. I built everything from scratch. Everything took off in the pandemic. I made more money than I have ever made in my life sitting at home. So you have to obey God when He tells you to build. All right. So we're flowing into page 162 and 163. This is chapter, and then I'm going to read one more chapter. Let me see what chapter this is. I can't even find it. I think this chapter 5 called Detour. So a lot of you all are being detoured from not only your mistakes, but the way that you're doing things. I want to read this status that I put up, because this ties in with this. Let me see. But He's going to reroute your life as well. Although you feel like you're being detoured, or you're detouring. Okay. So this is what I put up a day ago. I said, when I found out my ex-husband cheated, I didn't fight him. I didn't argue. The hardest thing I did was say, I forgive you. I cried in sorrow, because what did you really marry me for? He pulled that gun out on me, and I said, give it your best shot. I'm numb anyways. I'm ready to die. My kids got their own daddy, and you got your own child. He threatened to kill me 3 times. And he took action by putting that gun in my face because he got caught. You may say, well, why did he do that? And you forgave him. Because forgiving is powerful. It makes the flesh weak. In that moment, that's when I gained my strength. He put the gun down and held me while I sobbed all night in his arms, while he was preparing to leave me all at the same time. 9 years later, I'm walking in total freedom and healing. when I really thought it was about to be until death do us apart. So before I read 162 and 163, I dealt with abuse during the whole entire marriage. Sexual abuse, financial, verbal, a little tab of physical and spiritual. So I know what it feels like to be abused, taken advantage of, using the word to get things that he needed, or use the word to spiritual manipulate and control and all of that. So I know what it feels like. But I'm going to talk about verbal abuse because this is what I'm talking about in this part. And talking about, let me see, I think sexual abuse as well. Yeah, because this talks about when he got caught cheating and all that stuff. So I'm going to read on. But when you are getting abused, you know the ins and outs of abuse. When you're in a relationship with somebody, or you're getting to know somebody, you're going to automatically know that they are abusive because of how they bring on, how they accompany you. So you're going to pick up spot on what that person is trying to do. And you're not going to, you're gonna have zero tolerance because of what you have already been through. Like, you're not going to play around with it. You're gonna let them know right off the rip. Nah, all this abuse stuff, nah, I can't. We're gonna have to stop talking. Because I done been through a path like that down my life already. God done healed me from that. And ain't nowhere in the world I'm going backwards. I'm going forward. So you will see that stuff spot on. So this is what it says. I can feel my marriage crashing. Things were getting out of hand. At some point, I confused love and respect. I had no way of knowing the difference because I never had love. I never knew what love was because I got neither growing up. So it caused me to settle in relationships. Roman got to the point where he would verbally abuse me, saying the most distasteful and belittling words to me. He made me feel so low that I rarely looked in the mirror. Now I'm going to stop right here. When I was married, yes, I dressed up and all that stuff because that's how I was when I met him. But he used to verbally abuse me so much that I didn't look in the mirror for 2 years. Because of the words and stuff that was deposited in my spirit. I stopped dressing and everything. I stopped putting on clothes, all that stuff. Because of how he was talking about me, down me, all of that. Now, verbal abuse is way worse than all the other abuse. Because when words are deposited in your spirit, or words is deposited in your life, that stuff sticks with you. It's a seed. And I'm a very spiritual being, so every time, he would say stuff, it would replay over my head. And I'm studied thinking about it. I'm becoming suicidal, all of that, because of what it was that he was saying. Now, when you're getting verbally abused, your next question is to the person, now why is they talking about me like this? Now, I don't understand. Why are they saying these things? Is it because they're not getting what they want? Is it because, they don't have anybody else to pounce on, so they make you the person to pounce on? You start to ask yourself, did I do something wrong? Did I say something out the way? You start to think in those manners. So, I'm going to continue on to read. So all I can think about is, how does this man love me and have no respect for me? I didn't understand everything he said to me, but I still had to swallow and digest every word using it against me. So he would use and say all of these nasty words, but then wanted to have sex with me after he done down, verbally abused me. So before I read all of this, hey damn, thank you for joining me. Before I read all of this, when a person verbally abuses you, who wants to lay down with a person who's verbally abusing you? Now, I got abused in all areas: financially, verbally, sexually, spiritually, emotionally, whatever. No one wants to open their legs for somebody that is abusing them, because you're not going to enjoy the moment. So yes, I withheld because of how he was treating me. He made me feel worthless. And I can only imagine how I would feel while he's enjoying the sexual encounter. Because every time he would be on top of me, I would be reminded of all the nasty and distasteful words that was spoken and deposited into my life. So I didn't feel like a wife in that moment. I didn't feel like nothing. I was numb. So during the time I was pregnant, of course, carrying his child, and I just wanted sleep and he wanted sex. After all the time that he would say distasteful words and all of that, not only was I was going through so much warfare. I was carrying his child. I would cry and reject him because of the mistreatment. So I was already detaching myself from him mentally. So what the worst can happen? When you're laying beside somebody and you feel alone. Now, before I get to this other part, you have to really be transparent about the things that you're going through. If you are married, if you're getting ready to get married, if you are engaged, separated, whatever. This book is real transparent. Now, the book that I'm writing now, I'm talking about, now, all of my books are detailed. They all are detailed. But mistakes in the covers, I'm talking about detail to your mouth gonna be like, I'm talking about from the bedroom, action, everything. Everything gonna be detailed. But you have to be transparent, because that's how you heal. Now this book, it got 8 chapters in. I cried from the first chapter, snotting, crying, to the last chapter, because I didn't want to write this book either. I ran from writing my first life story. I ran for 2 years. I got a prophecy. And I wasn't even saved then when I got them prophecies. And that prophet is no longer living. But the stuff that was told to me, I'm walking it out. I got those prophecies in, I think it was 2013 somewhere. God shifted me. I'm going to get back into it. But it was in 2013. I'll never forget. I had just moved back home. And I was like, God, I don't know what's going on. I'm burnt up because you made me move back home. I was real burnt up. But it didn't make sense then, but it make a whole lot of sense now. He made me move back home. And I was just getting back in church and all that stuff and trying to get my life together. I had one foot in and one foot out. Still just trying to serve the Lord, all of that. So we went to a church service. My auntie took me to a church service. And I saw it in front of the prophet. I was scared. I'll tell you, them prophets be reading. They be reading your behind. And I wasn't saved then. And I'm telling my auntie, I'm like, I don't want to see no prophet, man. I don't want, but I needed that so I can get myself together. So the prophet was talking and all of that, and he said you the first thing that he said you like to screenshot, don't it? You like to keep messages. You like to you like to set stuff out. And we started laughing. Right off the rip, I was like, this man already in my business. But then he was like, he said, you're going to move. I'm not going to say what states. He named 3 states. I ain't going to say that. He said, one day you're going to move in either of these 3 states, but 2 states for sure you're going to house. You're going to have a house in 2 states. And so that prophecy haven't come to pass yet. However, he said, I see you writing. You like to write books. I see you writing poetry. That man was all in my business. I was like, I'm trying to get up and leave and everything. All in my business. But he was like, I see this one book. You're going to write your life story. They're going to change people's lives. I read from that book for 2 years. 2 years straight. My first book. A Broken That's Unspoken. I ran from that book. And I was like, God, I don't want to write. I said, who going to read this stuff? And and I love writing, but I just didn't want to write. But to my surprise, that book moved a lot of people. I didn't even expect that. I didn't even expect that book to sell the way that it sold. But that book moved a lot of people. A lot of people. So, although I ran from the prophecy, I got myself together. And now I have 20 plus books out. And I'm still writing. So, that prophecy has come to pass. And that was all the way in 2013 when I got those prophecies. So when people are giving you prophecies and that stuff ain't come to pass right then and there, you can't call that person false because it takes time. And then as human beings, we don't be want to do what the prophet is saying when they all in your business. So that's just how it is. Because I was like, look, I ain't finna write no books. Now and I was telling him I don't want to be saved because I ain't finished doing me. And I wouldn't. I was like, he's like, you funny. I said, I'm just keeping it real. It brings you back to transparency. I said, I'm not finished doing me. I got some more exploring to do. I ain't finished doing me. But the second time when I explored and I got a second baby daddy, that's when the Lord shut everything down. I said, I got to get saved now. I got to get saved because of the miracle. Because of how I seen him with my baby, my second baby. He was born premature. And I saw God raise that baby up. And man, I get chills every time I tell the testimony about him. He stopped breathing 3 times. He not supposed to be here. They say he wasn't going to walk. They say he wasn't going to talk. They say he wasn't going to eat. They said all that stuff. That's when I got myself together. That second baby got me all the way together. So you have to be transparent about where you are, what you're doing, and all of that. Because sometimes when God sees that your life is detuned, the babies, we get the babies the wrong way. You know how they go. But those babies save your life. They save your life. They put more purpose on your life. That's when I really started believing in miracles. Because of what he did through my son. My son, I'm telling you, that baby was so little, he could fit in my hand. He was 2 pounds. And so, I'm telling you all, the countless nights in the NICU, months at a time, spending time in the hospital, all that. Seeing this baby grow, 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 grow. I'm going to give you revelation with that as well. Seeing him grow, 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 grow. And I remember I was laying on that couch and the Lord said, you're going to have to surrender all. You're going to have to write and I'm going to save your baby life. That's when I picked that pen up. And they called me and said, we done took Jabari off the ventilator. He's breathing on his own. He's eating on his own. Man, y'all ain't ready. Y'all is not ready. I was running. I was running from right. But I had the right to save my baby life. So I have the right to save your life. This is what I do for a living. I have the right to save other people's lives. Woo! Alright, let me get back into it. I got one more check. I gotta get up off here. Because I'll be back on here tonight. Woo, child. We're going to talk about them obsessions. Yeah, God wearing me out. But I'll be back on here tonight. So, I said, I'm so empty. I could just die. My heart is turning cold. And now I'm thinking this man did a 360 on me. This is not the man that I married. Nevertheless, he began his new job and our schedules worked out. But my pregnancy, on the hand, no. So, when you're marrying a person, I'm going to skip down because this is where I call him cheating. And all this stuff happened through my dream life. I'm telling you, I talk about all of this. But when you marry a person, before you get married to them, you got to study how they are moving. Now, I wouldn't say that during the time that he was pretending, because he was real good to me when we first met. Doing everything. Anything that he was treating me like a queen. But all of that changed when we got married. You know what they say? What you do to get them, that's what you got to do to keep them. But he got comfortable and he got relaxed and felt that, well, you know, I don't need to do all this. If I done put a ring on her finger, I done bought her a ring, I ain't got to do all of it. I mean, treating me phenomenal before we got married. But then, when we got married, he stopped taking care of me. He stopped doing everything. And I'm like, God, what the world is this? Now, and he was taking care, we weren't married. He was taking care of me, doing anything. Running my bath water. I'm talking about just everything. Just doing everything. But when I got married, he got me pregnant, all that stuff went out the window. So, they mask do falls off. It do. It falls off when you get married to a person. But it doesn't mean that that person was evil the whole entire time. Now, sometimes it can be that way. But majority of the time, some people just get relaxed. Now, I'm the opposite. If I'm doing anything for you in the world that I get married to you, it gonna upscale. It's gonna be better than what it was before we got married. That's just the type of woman that I am. So, when we weren't married, we was investing into each other. But when we got married, I was the one doing all the investing. He stopped doing everything. It was one-sided. It was like I'm back a single mom while I'm a wife. It was that type of stuff. So I'm doing everything. Cooking, cleaning, sexing, whatever you want, I'm doing. But he stopped doing his duties. You want to know why? Because he was cheating. This is where I get into this. So, let me see. So we got home and we was in the car. I'll never forget. I was getting out of work. He was coming to pick me up from work. He had just got out of work. And I was in the car with him. He came pick me up or whatever. We got home. And he was FaceTiming someone. I had already knew that he was FaceTime someone because God had gave me an open vision. So I'm sitting there and I'm pregnant. I'm trying to keep my composure. And I'm like, okay, so he cheating. That's why he acting like this. So I was going in there to ask him, who is she? That's my favorite word. Who is she? He hurry up and closed the FaceTime down. I had already knew that he was FaceTime somebody because I had an open vision in the room. So when he heard the door open, he hurried up and got off the phone. When he hurried up and hung up, these was my exact words. Let me find out. I had already knew. I said, let me find out. I had already knew because God gave me an open vision. So that night I had a dream. I went to sleep and I was on Facebook checking my notifications. And when I went to check my message, I had a message request and the name looked unfamiliar. But I proceeded to open it anyways. And it was a woman and my husband has been talking. It was a woman and my husband has been talking to her. And she started to send me things of what they was conversating about. I could barely put the words together because it was blurry in the dream. So I exited out of it and continued to engage on social media. When I woke up, the first thing came to my mind was he cheated. I had already knew he was cheating. So I got into prayer. I started praying. I was like, God, I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to put the pieces and everything together. The Lord said, liar. Y'all need to get my book right. The Lord said, liar. It was clear as day. I said, okay, let me write this down. Now, I had all... I'm telling y'all, God ain't nothing to be playing with. He said, liar. I said, oh, okay. So I had already wrote the open vision down. I wrote the dream down. And then the Lord spoke and said, liar. God began to speak and said, your husband is hiding a lot of stuff from you. He has not been faithful and he has not been truthful. And he is going to deny everything, so be watchful. Boy, I can't make this stuff up, y'all. I received a messenger from a woman. She wrote me concerning my husband. I read what was sent and I responded back. That was my dream. The dream came to pass that same day. Well, you can't make this stuff up, man. So when I asked him about it, he said they were just best friends. And I'm like, well, if y'all best friends, well, I don't know nothing about this best friend. I said, no, she ain't no best friend. That's your mistress. So he got angry and hung up the phone. He hung up in my face. I cried even harder because God confirmed the word. I'm telling y'all, I was so shattered. Like, I didn't know what to do. That's when God started really grooming me in the places of me being a prophet. I had already saw the open vision, and then he still was lying. Even after I had confirmation from the dream, the girl wrote me. I mean pictures. I'm talking about, man, all types of stuff in the hotel. I mean, just doing everything. I said, oh, okay. I see why. I see why you stopped pursuing me. Because you're pursuing somebody else. So when God show you things, well, I'm telling you, God don't lie. God does not lie. That's how I knew that he was cheap. That's how my open vision, the seal part of me, began to open up. When I was married, I have always been a dreamer. I've been dreaming since the age of 16. Once saved in, I was having dreams in the world. So even when them Negroes were doing stuff in the world, I'll tell them, look, I had a dream about you. So you can stay where you at. Whoever you humping on, you are real, but whoever you humping on, you won't be humping on me no more. Because I done saw it in the dream already. Now, it's way worse now. I'm talking about God be showing me message threads. I'm talking anything that they doing. Phone calls, names, everything. You can't play the player, but you surely can get played. So, God don't lie. God does not lie. When I saw that stuff, the first thing I heard the Lord said, liar. He was lying about everything. Lying about everything. I mean, won't tell the truth about nothing. So, he the one presented me with the divorce. He gave me a divorce. I didn't believe in divorces. And still don't believe in them. But my prayer was, God, you either going to change him or you're going to remove him. And the Lord removed him. And that's what happened. So, one more chapter. I got to get up off here. I'll be back on here at 9 o'clock. We're going to talk about these obsessions. All right? Let's see. This is chapter 7 called Virtually Evolved. That's right, Diamond. Period. That part. Virtually Evolved. So I have a tattoo on my back. It's a colorful butterfly. Now when I got this tattoo, I ain't had no business getting no tattoos because I wasn't even old enough to get no tattoos. And didn't nobody even know I had no tattoos. I ain't supposed to be getting no tattoos. I wasn't old enough to get them. So all of my tattoos are covered up. You can't see them. But I still didn't have no business getting them. I have a tattoo of a colorful butterfly on my right shoulder. And when it would be seen, many would ask, what does it mean? Jesus freed me. That's what that tattoo means. Now, when I got this tattoo, I wasn't free. Boy, I was loose as a goose, wild horn, doing everything you would think of. But I got this tattoo, didn't even know, like, the revelation behind the tattoo. It didn't start making sense until I started virtually evolving. So, the tattoo is prophetic. It got colors, multi-colors in it. Now, when I was getting a tattoo did, the person even asked me, well, you know, this real unique. What made you get this? I said, Jesus freed me, and I wasn't even free. I wasn't even free then. I was doing everything. Wasn't even free. So, do you know the declarations that you are making in the revelation that is a part of your life before you get to that point? He's like, oh, you know, that's interesting. So, when people see it, that's what it means. Jesus freed me. Now I'm walking in total freedom. Now I'm walking in total healing. Now I'm walking in total wholeness. It is also symbolic for freedom that's in me. I will honestly say I forgot it was there when it once healed. A place I'm trying to reach. Lord have mercy. I got the tattoo when I was 17 years old, not knowing how badly I would need it to reflect back on my life. While my set position is to be crowned in the different colors of life, I dived in without my wings, speeding, flying, and trying to get to my destination. And then I began to fall without my wings, one flopping, trying to float back to the top with no force. I'm panicking, trying to vapor through the dry and smoky places because I need to be free from all my past mistakes, hurts, and mainly everything that caused me to stop flying. This stuff don't make no sense to me. So when God's getting ready to virtually evolve you, whoever this may be for, you got to flop on that one wing until the Lord add that other wing. I had no idea why I was getting that butterfly. I just told the person, you know, Jesus freed me. And I wasn't even free then. So now I'm walking. I'm virtually evolved. I'm walking into destiny. I'm doing everything that I'm passionate about. The stuff don't make sense until you see afterwards, like, oh, okay. Now, when some people get tattoos, they just get them. All my tattoos have meanings. So, if I wasn't saved, I'd be covered up like an art boy. When I got saved, I got started on this. I think it's this arm. I was going to have a whole sleeve. But the Lord saved my behind. I got started. But I never got a chance. I never got a chance to get that sleeve. But your tattoos do have meaning if you get them. But I had no idea what I was saying at that age. Talking about Jesus freed me. So, it makes sense now. So, those are prophetic acts. What are you speaking into your life and you're not there yet? What has God told you? And you saying, God, I haven't got there yet, but you're going to get there. What have you been praying about? You saying, God, you ain't answering my prayers. He answering them. But you got to keep on walking until you get there. Faith without work is dead. God's not going to do everything, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to present to you where you need to be, what you need to do, and all of that. But he's not going to do everything. You got to start moving and shifting. When you get a prophetic word, you just can't say, well, you know, that person spoke into my life. I'm just going to let that word sit. That's exactly what's going to happen. When I got that word in 2013, because that's when I came back home, I ran from that prophetic word for 2 years straight because I wasn't ready to be saved. I wasn't ready to be going no church and all that stuff. I just wasn't ready. I'm like, God, I got some more stuff to do, man. I got some more stuff to do. But after I got pregnant that second time, that sucked me down. It sucked me all the way down. So, that's when I got married. Doing everything the right way. Got married. Then put up my roster for my ex-husband and everything. I just put everything. Changed my phone number. Just trying to be a good woman. I really put up everything. So, once you get into the phase of, okay, I'm not there yet. When will I get there? Hey, Sister Denise, thank you for joining me. When will I accompany my goals? You have to do everything right. I wasn't doing everything right. I had to get married. I'm telling you all, if I wasn't married, I'd probably have about 10 baby daddies. I'm laughing, but for real. Cause baby, yeah. I have about 10 baby dads around this joint. But the Lord, I had to get married. I had to. In order to be where I am now. And even after my third baby, that baby almost killed me. I was like, no, I ain't having no more children. No, ma'am, Pam. That baby almost took me up out here. So, I did everything the right way. Doing what the Lord, I'm telling you, when you doing stuff the right. Now, let me rewind. When you doing stuff the wrong way, it feel good. The devil ain't after you because you're on his team. I was the queen for the devil. I always playing Russian roulette with my life. God always spared me. I would never be still. After I had my first baby, my first baby daddy couldn't stand me. Once I left him with that baby, that man blowed that phone up all night because he already know what I was about. No, you need to be bonding with your child. Don't be worried about what I'm doing, because that's how he got me. So he already knew how I was. So I had leeway. I had it made with that first baby. Soon as I had her and I got the ropes and everything, and I started getting comfortable with her folks keeping them, it was over with. Out all night, doing whatever I wanted to do. She ain't in my presence, and she with her folks. So, then, I ended up getting pregnant again. And I was like, Lord have mercy. I gotta slow down. I was getting pregnant every 2 years. Every 2 years. Every 2 years. The Lord, the Lord said I had to get saved, y'all, cause I would get pregnant every 2 years. I'm telling you all, every 2 years. I was like, So I did it right. But the devil does not have hard things on you. That is false happiness. He had you wide open, act like everything is just wonderful. Then, when you get married and you doing stuff the right way, your warfare be on 1,000. Well, I was going through so much warfare, it ain't make no sense. I thought I was dying. I went through warfare because I was married. I was doing everything the right way. God had healed me from my promiscuous lifestyle. I'm telling you all. Man, that was something else, man. I did just about everything. So, I was wild. I was really, really wild. So, God healed me from that lifestyle. And I had to get married. And anytime that you're going through warfare and you say, I'm doing everything right, that's why you're going through warfare. I'm doing things the right. Everything is going to be a fight because you're doing it right. When the devil is presenting, I'm trying to get up out here, man. When the devil is presenting things to you, it gonna always be sweet. Always. Your preference gonna always be available to you. Anything that you like. God still ain't gave me my hood, nigga. That's because I'm saved. She said she want a hood, nigga. I gotta get up off because I start out and laugh. But for real though, that's my preference. God ain't gonna give me no hood, nigga. That man gonna kill me. He ain't gonna give me no hood, nigga. That man gonna kill me. So God be protecting us from the ignorance of what we want. That's what I want. But that ain't what God want for me. So our preferences means nothing. It means nothing. But does it line up with the will of God? If it don't line up with the will of God, God ain't gonna give it to you. So grace and peace to you all. I pray that this help who it needs to reach. And I pray that I hope that this encourage you. Like I said, this is my life story part 2. Part 3 is on the way. I don't know when that book gonna be birthed. I'm still seeking God about it. But it seems like every time I try to stop writing, he adds some more stuff. So I don't know, y'all. But it's gonna be worth the wait. It's gonna be worth the wait. That book gonna be real exclusive. But you know, I went through a lot of stuff in my life. A lot of stuff. And my pen is for the brokenhearted. I love writing. So I pray that this video helps you. You know. Be encouraged. Stay uplifted. Your testimony is your testimony. You got to tell it and be transparent because you no longer live that lifestyle. So, a lot of people like to shy away from testifying. But I can testify all day, every day. That's not good. You got to tell the goodness of God because you want people to overcome like you overcame. You want people to be in a place of prosperity like you are. I went from poverty to prosperity in less than 2 years. You can't make this stuff up. Like poverty mindset. not knowing what to do, when to do, all of that stuff, all the poor mentalities and all that stuff went into prosperity. So whatever, it's not just about money, but it's about your lifestyle and the things that you growed up under, learned behavior. All that stuff flows into your life. So God have to clean us up. He have to clean us up so we can get in position for the abundance and the increase in the wealth. So, like I said, I'll be back on here again at 9 o'clock because I'm going to be sharing them dreams that I had. I think it was like, I posted about 4 or 5 days ago. I don't know. But the obsession, is this stuff really going on. The people be being obsessed with you. This stuff scary. So the stalking energy, this stuff going on. It's really, really going on. Somebody asked me today, where you been? You been hiding. I tell people be watching me. Hey, what you worry about me for? I ain't been seeing you. Good. That type of stuff. Where you been hiding it? Don't worry about me. That type of stuff. Like, people really be watching you, man. They be really, really watching you. This stuff's scary, man. That's why I be hiding. I said, that's exactly why I be hiding. Because of people like you. So, I will see you guys later. Y'all have a good day. Goodbye.